Why am I doing this again?
It was your idea.
It wasn't.
It was.
I wanted to.
Just do the episode. You can do it. Come on.
Well, this isn't Joseph Montecillo. Welcome to the first and only episode of Addendum, where I tell you things he doesn't. The UP Diliman University Student Council elections are over, and now we're ready to wither another year of the consequence of our inactions and the lack of proper support from the BOR. But still, it's worth looking at the concepts behind the buzzwords used inappropriately in angry Facebook posts or our viral YouTube videos.
Neoliberalism.
Surprisingly, neoliberalism isn't simply a buzzword created by political parties to fuel campaigns. Instead, it's a pervasive ideology that highlights the importance of the free market.
Some context.
Neoliberalism has its roots in classical liberalism, which worked under the assumption of Adam Smith's invisible hand. Over time, classical liberalism evolved into modern liberalism, which focused on individual freedom. At this point, people believe that the discrimination against an individual can only be mitigated and remedied through the intervention of the state. In the 1970s, things started going wrong. Economic stagnation, public debt, high unemployment rates, protests and strikes, the works. The growing unrest threatened the ruling class' hold on power and control, thus paving the way for the revival of classical liberalism, which then, after further revisions, turned into neoliberalism.
And that was some context.
In short, it is the rejection of state intervention in the economic sector. Now, the logic used to back neoliberalism calls the deregulation of businesses and corporations as the encouragement for competition.
I believe you won't keep political freedom unless you also have economic freedom, which means that you must have a large part of free enterprise in your whole economy.
Which sounds good in theory. One could compare it to dating. More options, more opportunities, a better life for all the singles. But just like dating, not everyone is equal, and some of us may have trouble finding and maintaining a relationship. And by the way, you are so lucky that I'm your girlfriend, Joseph.
Love you!
Just like those people, Joseph, not all businesses are capable of competing with the larger corporations, thus making an uneven playing field. Ever wonder how the giant corporations like SM monopolize all the profit? Yeah, neoliberalism. Now let's focus on the privatization of public sectors, more specifically the privatization of our UP education. Now, privatization is self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyway. It's basically the transfer of public services to large corporations for the sake of shrinking the government, reducing the taxes, and boosting the quality of the remaining government activities. Privatization creates profit, but the oh-so-generous and practical nature of conglomerations will definitely only lead to cost-cutting and customer satisfaction. Not really. Most private corporations focus on profit. Without regulation, there exists no cap on the prices corporations put on their services, making it inaccessible to those with less money. And while UP is still a public university, the services UP provides for the students are, in a way, being privatized. Just look at the miscellaneous fees, or the lab fees we pay for. Ideally, every aspect of our UP education should be made available to students across all brackets. Yet because of the ridiculously high lab fees and the lack of transparency as to where our money is going, a large portion of the UP community gets alienated. So yeah, neoliberalism is a pretty serious problem. Neoliberalism is the lack of government intervention in the economic sector. This includes the privatization of the public sector, including education. Meaning, education is being treated as a privilege and not a right. Meaning, this alienates a large portion of the people from lower socioeconomic brackets. Meaning, yes guys, regardless of political parties, we should all work together to rid ourselves of the excessive capitalist structures in place that make education inaccessible to a large part of the Filipino community. Because this is more than a this party versus that party issue, rather it is the acknowledgement that everyone deserves to be educated regardless of their social class and standing. And finally, guys, and Joseph, neoliberalism is more than just a buzzword.